Welcome to the new Sandcrawler workshop. Even though we're not at the workshop, we're up at the house. And that's where I store my bigger dioramas. And this is my Boonta Eve Classic Podrace diorama. And this thing has been sitting for years and years and years. I turn on the lights every once in a while just to make sure everything's still here. The good thing about it is, this thing is 22 years old and it looks as good as the day I made it. Because that's part of what I do. I make things out of wood, and I cover them as much as possible, keep dust off of them, and this thing just looks perfect. And so I'm doing this video, which is going to be a slideshow when I'm done here, and it goes through over 100 and something pictures on how I made this thing. Back in the day, in 2003, you didn't do videos. This was before YouTube. You could make all the videos you want to try to upload them on the internet, especially when you're out here in the country like we are and you're on the dial-up. You'd never get it up. It would take you forever doing it. And so I did a tutorial on it. It was up on the Jawa back in the day, which doesn't exist anymore. And then I had it up on my own site, which doesn't exist anymore. And so this is the first time it's going to be on the internet in quite a long time, probably 15 years. Since this has been up on the internet. But I say it's an interesting slideshow, the first slideshow I've ever done. So I hope that you will enjoy it, and I'll have some more comments after you see it, if you'll stay around long enough, which I hope you do, and I hope you subscribe, and I hope you like. So this is it. I got more of these projects over the years that I'm going to be doing this on. So this is the first one, so we'll see how it goes. All right. I hope you enjoyed the slideshow. And if you did, please like. And if you would, subscribe. I don't have very many, but I haven't got out much. I've been in this a long time, but I haven't. And I missed complete years at a time because I was a truck driver. Sometimes I would be working so much I didn't have much time. But I am retired now, and I should have regular content coming out. So, new projects, lots of them coming. I got lots of toys to make projects for, so. Well, I took the front panel off. Get in here a little more close up. I almost thought about making another one of these and putting it on the outside over here. I don't know if I'll ever get around to that. But I'm looking into characters, maybe some for Watto's box. This is one of the main reasons I built this. This, and then they came out with a place. I don't know if I got another one or not. I have another Watto's box. That's a story in itself. I'll get back to that. But they came out with Jabba, spinning head thing, and the announcers. So when I had all those, I'm like, man, this is what I'm going to do. Because I got the pod racers, got the pods. And since then, after I made this, a lot of figures have come out. I got most of them here. But this was a custom. Guy went by the name of Ty Crazen. I think he lives in New Jersey. He made that for me when I built this. He was from the Jawa.com. I thought that looked very nice. And I made the fueling station. And I have my, like to call my signature Jawa hole. Anytime I make something on Tatooine, there's got to be a Jawa somewhere. And let's see if I can get in here. You can't hardly see it. You can see his eyes glowing, but the camera doesn't show it very well because I put a little slot up here behind the wall so light could get down in there. You can see it real good. I can from here, but it doesn't take a very good picture though. But I've been thinking maybe adding on, putting another row of bleachers under here. I got some space up here. I could add a row of bleachers. But yeah, there's all kinds of new figures have come out over the years. I know there's probably more that I haven't even got out yet. I need to get into my boxes. I have boxes and boxes and boxes of toys. And it's almost like going back in time, just opening one up and thinking, wow, I remember buying that. But yeah, and of course, it's daytime, have to have the twin suns. I try to theme all of them with something. I got one over here I'm not going to show, but it's got the tri-moons on it. But that's it. We're ready to fly. I might put up later, I have some shots building the stand. But it's pretty C-spot run stuff, so I might not go that far. Well, like I say, I hope you enjoyed it. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell anybody. I need subscribers. I don't really care that much if I get monetized. I don't need the money. I am going to be selling things I make that will help support the shop. But if I could ever get monetized, that'd be cool. I think I could get to 1,000 maybe in 2 or 3 years, maybe. But I'm going to need a lot of help. So, have a good one. Stay tuned.